going on, people? Real quick, technical difficulties. This banner should not be showing. I'm here in the place to be. Happy Monday. If you can hear me, click, type one or something. I want to make sure you guys can hear me. I've only had 15 minutes to put this thing together. Actually, I had all week, but let's not get into it. If you can hear me, type one, please. If you can hear me, type one as I quickly get this together. Um, do some housekeeping while I am getting this together. It's Monday night, back at it again. I think last week I need to go check back to see how long I've been doing this, but it's been a while. It's been probably over a year, so I'm excited about it. Excited to have you here every night, right around 9 o'clock. Right around 9 o'clock. You'll see me here Monday nights coming live to you to discuss what's on my mind, some things that I'm implementing. So I'm excited to share what's going on with you today. And the topic says mastering the Monday. It wasn't the Monday, it was the mundane. But as I was dictating this to my assistant, there was a lot going on. And I'll get into that story earlier today. So forgive me, it's mastering the mundane. Maybe I need to type it in here. I'm going to type it in here and let it, so you guys can see it. That's what it was supposed to be. And then by the time I saw it 3 minutes ago, it was ready. It was time to go and get going. Okay. This is mastering the mundane. That is the title of today's show. Prior to that, let's get into the housekeeping, guys. Wednesday, it starts with me, Joel Simmons, my partner, my brother from another mother, has his podcast / show / YouTube / you need to watch it. Every Wednesday has some exciting guests. No one gets to the heart of the matter like Joel does. Please check him out on Wednesdays. It starts with me. Friday, 6:30, Community Beacon. We are in it to win it. I believe this is going to be our 33rd. Ooh. Uh-oh. It's going to be the 33rd show. Last week, we discussed the miseducation of Joel and Mike. It was an excellent show. I suggest you go back and watch it. It was an hour and a half. Listen, go to YouTube, hit play, put it at 1.5 or 1.25. You get through it in no time. Lots of jewels and gems dropped. Our conversations are so impactful and they're so filled with information that you have to go in there. And we should even do like a dissecting it kind of show. They show it everywhere. Oh, look at my two pictures. Squirrely. All right, cool. So that's that. So Friday, Community Beacon. Wednesday it starts with me. Of course, Monday nights, it's they call it motivational Mike. I just say Mike. Mike's implementing something. I'll figure out a name at some point in time. First off, how was your weekend? I mean, we had Easter, we had Passover, we had Ramadan, all wrapped into one. The Holy Week. Mine was fabulous. I don't think I talked one time on Sunday, which I enjoy when I'm not having conversations. I can just sit and really think about what I have going on. So I enjoyed it. Had some excellent food starting on Friday. Let me tell you something. I'm blessed. I am blessed. I had some roasted fish. I had a whole spread. If you look on my Facebook, I took a picture of it. I was so grateful and blessed that this was made for me. Right on to Saturday, for Caribbean people, Jamaicans in particular, we do bun and cheese. And here's the thing. It wasn't that it was so good, though it was good. It was more like a nostalgic kind of feeling. Like the foods, when we're eating these traditional foods that we eat, things that, oftentimes I guess we get so busy, like we don't have time to really take it all in. And here, the ultimate culmination was on Sunday. Everything was closed, even Publix. which I loved. Everything except for church. People were in and out of church. Publix was closed. I think Home Depot was open, but that's that. Costco was closed. It was just a great atmosphere, just a relaxing time to think about it. It was Resurrection Sunday, and here was a point I made this morning. Sunday should be Resurrection Sunday. Let's remember, for those of us who celebrate, that's the reason why. Monday should be Easter Monday, because if you do your research on Easter and even the name, etc., like we're talking about rabbits, we're talking about eggs. I don't know how the stories got conflicted, which is fine. I don't mind. Put it on Monday. Monday should be a day off. So it should be Friday, Good Friday, take that day off. Saturday, Sunday is Resurrection Day. Monday, it should be called Easter Monday, and that should also be a day off. I'm with it. I'll work, maybe, but I just like it that way. So celebrate. I hope you all had a safe and fun holidays and celebrated whatever traditions it is that you have. Good to be around family. I got a chance to be around family. I enjoyed myself. It was great. All right. Real estate. I actually had something in regards to real estate. I didn't really like the article, so I'm not even going to pull the article up. Essentially, the article was talking about buyers and them having to make the adjustments. And let's be clear, it's buyers who are doing less than whatever the FHA minimum is or maximum is right now, which is right around 420,000. When I started, it was like 330. That was in 2017. Now we're in 2022. It's around 415 in Palm Beach County. So interest rates have risen. At one point in time, I believe they were at 5%. Last time I checked, they were right around 4.75, which is quite a jump from, sub threes last year, which I think was a great time to buy. If you could have afforded it, then you did. Excellent. Last year was really good to you. Now it's a little bit trickier. And here's the thing. Here's my thought process on it, because buyers do, we're out here and there's something called buyers fatigue. There's buyers fatigue. What's going on, Wendy? So buyers fatigue is when you as a buyer, you're looking at properties, and sometimes you're not even putting offers. But let's talk about the serious buyers. The serious buyers are putting in offers, right? But you're putting in offers and you're missing out on the offers continuously. I mean, it's very competitive. We're talking about at one point in time, 15 to 20 offers being put in at different times. Like, you have to be very strategic in what it is that you're looking for. And here's the thing. You have to have the information. That's I don't think either the agents aren't giving the buyers the information, or because they don't know, or they're scared to tell their buyers because they don't want to lose a client. But I feel like if you continue dragging people around and painting this false picture of not being able to get an offer in, something's wrong, because people are getting offers in. You may have to adjust your expectations, possibly, for your price point, if that's the case. And this is, like I said, this is for the newer, the under 415 in Palm Beach County. You may have to adjust your expectations, but your agents, you all need to be telling them that. I received a couple offers on one of my listings, more than a couple. And, I tell, put your highest and best. I'm going to present it to the owner. And so someone put in an offer. It was so far off. Like I guess I know you can just, but agents, if you're going to put in an offer that low, like, send it in like hey, is this anywhere near it? Like, start to open up the lines of communication, because as listing agents, we need the lines of communications opened, right? So open up the line of communications, really educate yourself first on what's going on in your marketplace, and then educate your buyer. Buyers, you all are doing the best that you can with what you have, because buyers try to, with the internet information, you know, you all know as much as you can possibly. I totally believe that, especially the newer home buyers. You all are taking in so much information. A lot of this information is not beneficial. A lot of this information is wrong. Um, but that's why you have an agent. That's why you hire a professional. So professionals, let's do our job, right? And if you don't know, say you don't know. Somebody knows. Go find out, right? Let's not be lazy with people. One of the biggest assets that most people buy. Okay, that was that. I'm contemplating on whether I should go into this mundane, mastering the mundane immediately, or go into this story. Let's do story time real quick. Let's. I should have started this. I should have started this thing off with story time. Do you ever recommend using an escalation clause? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. I'm sorry. Let me put that up here. There's a question. Absolutely not. Not at that price point. And that's why I was specifically talking to people who are, doing FHA and lower. I mean, if you have the money, Daphne, good to see you too, or converse with you. But I don't recommend an escalation clause. I recommend people communicating. Your agents communicating with the buyers. I mean, a person knows what they want to spend on the property, right? Put your best foot forward and have your agent communicate that. That's what I recommend. That was interesting because we just had this conversation with one of my coaches today. Something in this realm, and we were talking about when an escalation clause did come up. So that I think that's a great question. If it's that unique of a property, right? I mean, if it's that unique of a property, if you have to have it, if you grew up in that property, if you're, this is the only, this is, but I mean, yeah, and I believe Daphne, I know you're a savvy person, so I know, I don't, is that, or that may be an option for you. I don't know. Not saying that's not an option, but that may be something that you may think of. But I think most people aren't going to do an escalation clause, especially at a certain price point. Where's the money coming from? In case, and then what are you waiving when you're going to waive all these appraisals? Still has to appraise, right? And I guess next week, if I remember, I will get the exact definition of the escalation clause because I don't even want to butcher it for you guys. I do want to butcher it. Let me tell my story before I get into mastering the mundane. And I think Daphne, you'll appreciate this show, the mastering the mundane, not the Monday, the mundane. There was an incident, and that's why I'm going to tell you what happened. So I went to go pick up the youngest. Well, before I went to go pick up the youngest, I had a call. I had a coaching call, and this is around 11 o'clock or 11:30 or something. I had walked my dog, fed him, etc. His stomach had been acting up, but I felt like today he was fine. Yesterday was acting up. He was fine all yesterday. And then he was fine this morning when I walked him as well. But his stomach was acting up yesterday. So so normally before I go pick up my son, I walk him. You're welcome, Daphne. I walk him. But sometimes I don't. So he's fine. But I've been getting into the habit of walking. Like last week I was walking him at 12:30, I walk him. Right. So today I remember I was like, okay, I'm in a rush. I need to go get a haircut and I need to go pick up my son. And I wanted to go to Costco and pick up some stuff because my older son was coming in and he's always hungry. So I wanted to make sure there was something here for him. So I remember I remember leaving, like walking out the door, and I looked at him. He was in this crate and he looked at me and he stood up and he was like, I know now, but at the time he was saying in his language, he was saying, "You need to take me out, sir." My stomach is hurting me. But I was in my own world. I was in a rush. I was excited about the call I had just had. I got a lot of information. boom, I headed out door. I wasn't even thinking about it. And so went, got a haircut. Appreciate it. Not my number one barber. He must have been on vacation. Uh, went to go picked up my son. Went to Costco. Got everything in there. Feeling good. Coming home, feel like I did because I didn't want to do it later on in the afternoon or the day. Okay, wanted to get it all done, and when I'm home, I'd be home. So as soon as I hit the door with my son in tow, the little one, I got hit with an odor. Oh my gosh! And I knew what it was. This is not my first rodeo. I've had dogs before, and I'm like, I walked over to his crate and I looked down, and yes, he did it. He did it. And so now I got the groceries in the car. I got my son in my hand. He's in his crate, rolling around in his stuff, and I got to take care of him. And the youngest looked at me, and this might have been the first actual. Well, I mean, we were communicating now, but he looked at me and he said, "Uh-oh." Basically, you're in trouble. So I had to assess the situation. I couldn't do it in the house because it was terrible. So I walked outside, and I really had to put my big boy pants on. It was like, you're super dad. It's time to get into action. It's time to get into action. And then into action I did. Oh my gosh. I could have waited for the oldest to get there, but I was going to wait 2 to 3 hours for him to get home from school. I need to take care of this stuff now. So had to go unload the groceries. I couldn't leave the little one in his little thing in the house because I didn't want him, inhaling all that stuff. Had to go put the groceries away. Had to change. Had to grab this, and you gotta, guys. He's like 115, 120 pounds or something. Like he's not a small dog, right? Had to go take him outside, had to go take his crate, which is a huge crate outside, had to clean the crate, had to clean him, had to bring the little one out there. Well, he enjoyed himself. He was outside. It wasn't the cold, it wasn't the hottest, but then I had to thank God, and I was grateful because as soon as I was finished, it started to rain. Thank you. Thank you, Lord. Listen, it was an interesting, it took about an hour and a half for this entire thing to unfold. What's the moral of the story? You got to be flexible. You got to make adjustments. Things happen. Life happens. Roll with the punches, guys. All right. Story time is over. Let's get into mastering the mundane. Could be Mondays. Mondays are synonymous with mundane. I wonder if I'm sure I don't know. Focus. So my thought process today in regards to mastering the mundane, we're coming down. We're not coming. We're still talking about mastery, the art of mastery, right? And what exactly it takes. What does it take to master something? The discipline involved, the sacrifice involved, and just getting to it. And when you start to think about people who have mastered things, we're thinking about, you can always go to sports analogies. You go to the Michael Jordans, you go to the LeBron James, you go to the Kobe Bryants. And the great thing about even going back to Michael Jordan, and even going to Monday Master Meeting, it almost got me too, Lou. I think you missed my story about what my 120-pound dog did when I had the little boy. Appreciate Lou for checking in. Appreciate Wendy. Appreciate Daphne for checking in. So we now that we have all this technology, we honestly get to see exactly what it takes. I remember Kobe had a couple of specials showing what it was that he did in order to get ready for just to master basketball. I've just finished watching The Last Dance a couple weeks ago. You start to see what the teammates said, but we just heard what they said. We didn't actually get to see it with Kobe, and we didn't even get to see it with LeBron James. Yeah, Lou, I was talking about the dog had diarrhea. I had groceries. I had the 1-year-old. It was work. It was work. It was work. I'm gonna try to work it. So here's one of my favorite quotes. Because I kind of understood a lot of this stuff early. It's from Michelangelo. He said, if you knew how much work went into it, you wouldn't call it genius. That's huge. If you knew how much work went into it, you wouldn't call it genius. When you hear the stories, and I'm going to specifically talk about Kobe because that's one of the people that, it was documented. He documented himself, and people still talk about it, of him. And when he spoke about it, I think he said he woke up at 2 o'clock, 2 or 3 o'clock, went to go work out, got back home at about 6 o'clock, did his family stuff with his kids, etc., went back out to work out, came back another 4 hours, came back, and then he went back out to go work out again before the night ended. So we're talking about 3 workouts, roughly about 4 hours apiece. So we're talking about 4, 8, 12 hours of basketball. Most people can't even comprehend this stuff. Because when we think about basketball or basketball players and entertainment, etc., we just see the big lights. We see them playing game day. And even then, we're talking about 82. Last time I checked, it was 82 games. And that's what they're playing. We're not talking about the practices. Then you got if you make it to the playoffs, if you're that good, you're working to go to the playoffs. We're talking about day in, day out working. And then when we're talking about mastery, which is what Kobe did, because he took his talent and he worked on it, he was doing it day in, day out. And I guess, this mastering the mundane, the small task, that I actually learned that through sports. I learned it through sports. I remember when I went out for the basketball team, the high school basketball team, and we had to just do layup drills for hours, just laying it up. When I was done, I had mastered the layup. It was just automatic. It was so habitual, doing hours of it, and it no longer becomes fun. I remember I used to call, I'm not going to say what I used to call the gym, but it basically was like a camp, right? I used to look at that gym and I said, man, it was like, I could remember it now. I didn't like the smell of it. It was just, you heard the squeaking of the sneakers. Like it was just, it had become, it no longer was fun. You had to find little things. Like that's why you see a lot of the camaraderie that makes teams, professional teams, like it has to be something. It has to be someone who's pushing the other players. That's what Michael Jordan did. I'm sure that's what Kobe did. And then there has to be camaraderie. Because I don't care how good you are, if there's no camaraderie, if people aren't enjoying this mundane thing, like having some kind of laugh, finding something funny, doing silly stuff, if you go back and look, you'll see these guys playing pranks on each other, etc. Is because they're in the gym minimum, 6 to 8 hours a day. It's no longer fun. It's no longer, hey, I'm gonna go to the park and play basketball. I'm going down to LA Fitness or the gym to go play basketball. It's a job. It's a job. It stops becoming exciting really quick. You'll start seeing them trying to figure ways out. That's why you'll see Steph Curry and them shooting these trick shots from here, and LeBron James throwing up. They do it every day. It becomes a job. It will become boring. You have to love the game or love the results of what the game gives to you, right? Because it just becomes menial. These are menial tasks. And in order to be mastery, in order to be the best, in order to really, to master it, you have to master not only that, but the mundane, the menial task, the repetitive boredom of it. You only can shoot so many layups before it just becomes like it's no longer fun. It's something I have to do. Same thing in this real estate game. Like when you get into real estate, most people, they get into real estate, and these are for people that that end up becoming successful agents, right? Because what happens, a lot of people get into it, they can't even figure it out. So they'll do a couple of deals, may keep their license active, doing a couple of things with family members, etc. right? Um, but once you start to figure it out, it's boring. It's boring. Like houses just become houses after a while. I mean, not after a while, they real quickly. Houses become houses. If you don't start to understand sales, if you don't start to understand communication, buyers become very draining. Even when you understand sales and you understand, yeah, even when you understand sales, buyers, they drain you. It's emotionally draining. Especially think about what's going on right now with the inventory, the hidden inventory that's out there. So if your agent doesn't understand that, you're going to go see 10. The average buyer normally used to see 9 houses before they picked up property. It's easily got to be 20, 25, and the properties that they're seeing probably aren't even close to what they want or envision. Okay, so it starts about like I'm on the phones 3-4 hours a day, and I have to up it. I gotta go up to like 6 hours a day. What do you do? Right? Like, what do? You join prospecting groups in between phone calls. You try to throw around information share information with each other. You talk about certain things, but boom, but you still have to be ready. So it's mentally draining. And meanwhile, you still have to learn what it is that you need to learn. All these things are going on, and oftentimes people aren't excited to hear from you. Some people are, and not even most people aren't. We got to think like the conversion rate is for to an appointment is about, I think the national average is 65. So for 65, all right, Lou, have a good one. Yeah, we got to hit the range. It's been a while. Oh, I'll post it up here. As always, great job. I got to run in a few. God bless my brother. Let's hit the range real soon. Yeah, guys, Lou Maroto, man. If you thinking about getting your gun concealed weapons course, that is the man. He is Palm Beach, one of West Palm's finest, as well as a military man. So you're great, you're getting great instruction, getting great instruction. So it's about mastering the mundane. It's about getting through repetitive boredom, because I don't care what it is, you will become bored with it after a while. He said, "Plug Palm protecting Palm." Okay, I didn't. This is the website, guys. Protectingpalmbeach.com. Check it out. Check Lou out, man. Consummate professional. Consummate professional. So this is just mastering it. This is getting comfortable in it. And then at the end of the day, it's time on task. Who's going to do it and how long can you do it for? And I'm not telling you not to take breaks. You need breaks, you need vacations, you need to mentally recharge. There's a lot of needs, right? Some people need it more than others. Where do you want to be? How fast do you want to get there? We spoke about that. That's one of the things we spoke about today as well. They spoke about a camp back in the 90s. It used to be called the Sweat Hogs. This is for people for real estate people who hit the phones, and they were on the phone from 9 o'clock in the morning to 8 p.m. at night. They had lunch, they had dinner, they had bathroom breaks. 50 minutes of phone, 10 minutes off. 50 minutes on, 10 minutes off. 50 minutes on, 10 minutes off. By the time, like right now, after 3-4 hours, like my brain is like mush. It's mush. So yeah, and look how good I am with my brain, like on mush. There's something. Anyway, long story short, guys, you have to master the mundane if you want to master whatever it is, your art form. You know what I mean? And that's how, like I said, when I saw this quote, I said I can relate. Mastering your schedule. Why do you think I'm up at 5:30 in the morning? There's things I need to get done. I'm on a track to get somewhere and I have goals, right? Master Mundane, figure it out, enjoy it. Guys, I love you. It's been 30 minutes. I didn't know I was going to be on this long, but I think it's important. I really enjoyed that story, guys. I love these kids. I love my dog. It's the boys, it's the guys. We got to take care of each other. So I definitely had to take care of Chalky today. He wasn't feeling well. All right, guys, have a great Monday. Have a great week. Let's get to it. Second quarter. What more can I say? What more can I say? If you need any help in regards to real estate, you guys know how to reach me. Have a great one.
Closer to my dream. Coming over me. I'm getting